All right, guys, Great Thinkers, episode 3. We're halfway there. I think Kirk predicted 6 episodes. This is a second day in a row. You can call it an emergency podcast because shit went down on it. What I think, I don't have my phone in front of me at the moment. What was it, guys? If you guys are in the background, 36 minutes today?
36
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. The man was pissed. All right, so let's go all the way around to everybody. But Warthog, who got the living shit kicked out of him today on the podcast, he is joining us on today's show. Warthog, welcome in. Give me the rundown. Let's start from the beginning, and then let's go to the phone call. What happened today?
All right. So last night I wasn't part of the AMA. I'm not a mod, but I saw the recap, and the recap didn't sit well with me, and not so much, the actions. I didn't really care about that, but then there were people, coming out of the woodwork telling everyone, don't question this, don't do that, no one can ever question the show. So someone sent me Steve's email and said, well, if you're a big tough guy, just, send the show an email. So I did. And, I stand behind everything that was in the email, and I got a response this morning that said, do you want to come on the show and talk to Kirk about it? And I said, of course. So I'm at the gym this morning, and I get a call from the show, and they dive right in, and we sort of hashed it out. Everyone heard it.
Yep.
The fillers, I've heard the show since. I mean, I honestly thought some of the filler stuff was BS, but that's my take.
Let's get it out first. Did you donate $15 to the fund? And if you were bullshitting, not the end of the world. You did donate.
And I don't really appreciate that, because if Steve's on the other end, he knows probably 99% of the people who gave under the name like Gabe Murchison.
Yep.
Uncle Dino. The idea that you would give under a fake name.
I'm a trusting person. If you fucking donated, you donated, okay? But your example of the pizza, you and I both know is just a bullshit example, because that's just a subjective thing. Maybe you showed up, didn't see it somewhere. So your argument there is just kind of bullshit, and you know that, right?
Well, I mean, did they not say right after they called me, they go, wait, let's do the math. When did we show up? 1:30. When did the pizza get there? 3 p.m. And then they all kind of got quiet, because guess what? That's 2 hours. And that's fine. I'm just saying, you can't call me a liar and then do the math for me.
All right. Well, you're a madman. We're going to come back to you in a second. Uncle Dino is with us. Speaking of madmen, I appreciate him joining us here. Appreciate him joining in. He DM'd Kirk, which, I'm not going to say I know Kirk really well. I had a great 3 weeks in there. We've talked, whatever. I don't go into details. I would never have pulled the fucking stunt of DMing Kirk on Discord of all places, Uncle Dino. You fucking lunatic. What were you thinking?
All right. So, can you hear me?
Oh, boy. Yeah, go ahead. Go.
All right. Here's what happened. I'm in the AMA, which is kind of set up really shittily. If that's a word.
Are you trying to look like shit on your video right now, or you want to be seen? Do you want your face on the screen? Because you got to move your phone down.
This is it. I'm doxing myself.
Okay. Yeah. There you go.
All right. So listen, I'm in the Discord. The AMA is going on. Something gets brought up about the billboards, and there's in the AMA chat, which is a separate channel, there's a whole bunch of people arguing about or pissed off about nobody being told about the funds going to something different. And so I messaged Jordan and asked him to ask a question about it, which he did. And then everyone wanted to blow past it. So I think it was you, VLS, that came back in and asked more questions. And it turned into this whole thing about people were pissed off and wanted refunds, which I didn't see one person ask for. It seemed like a way to just kind of dodge the question, which, again, honestly, I think it's been addressed now. I think everything's all set. But the idea that
Sorry, you breaking up there, Uncle Dino? Okay, he's breaking up there for a second. So still lunacy out of him. You guys are all joining in. Sorry, I'm rambling as I'm fucking playing around with technology here. You guys all saw this firsthand. I don't think we have VLS KMS on because he was one of the ones asking the questions. All right, Dino, I think Dino's trying to talk, so I'm getting him out of here. NPR Mike is here. DJB, these are all people you're probably wondering, who the fuck are these guys? We're all wondering the same thing, but they wanted to chime in and give a different perspective. DJB, what was your perspective of how it all played out last night?
So I have two takes. My first take being on today's pod, I think it was Steve that brought it up, how people are trying to ask questions and be like Kirk.
Yep.
And, kind of that persona. But what people don't realize is that when Kirk's asking these questions and doing these investigations, you already know he knows the answer before he asks those questions. He's just setting it up. That's what, I don't know, these guys just kind of went in like half-assed, I thought, which leads into my next point. So on the pod today, they also said how Kirk wasn't asked about the funds, or maybe he missed the question in his AMA. And then they waited to do it and asked Steve. That's just the same thing that happened with Dave Portnoy and Mike the other day. Dave didn't want to address his issues with Kirk in the show, so he got Mike on and bashed the hell out of him because it was easier. So I don't know. I thought that was kind of a hack job in that respect.
Well, I'm with Kirk in the sense that if you break it down to the actual issue, I mean, I heard the show the same way the other people heard the show. I don't think they sat there and they outlined, hey guys, this is how we're going to spend the money now that we don't have a billboard. But the fact of the matter is, when you donate $15 and then you throw a vigil, I think we all assumed that some of that money was going to be used for this. Am I wrong, NPR Mike?
No, not at all. And that's exactly my take on it is that, like, I think it's fine that people ask questions like Kirk and you guys have said, but it's like, is that really the question that you want to dig, like, deep into? Like, you donated $15 or, like, $10, $20. Like, what the fuck are you worried about? Do you really think Kirk Minihane, who has noted the amount of money that he has, is going to, like, skimp out over, or whatever you want to call it, over whatever it was, $2,300? Like, get the fuck out of here.
What do you
on the show with the show today? I think message is, I mean, I wasn't one of the people that complained, and I actually missed the AMA, but message received, or at least it should be, about fucking stop complaining. Like, Jesus, at least I have a shot to catch up on the episode, or on the 4 hours from Friday now.
Yeah. Warthog, do you believe that it was a deliberate ambushing of Steve to get this out there? Listen, a lot of us, you guys might have found this stream out because of Discord. In full transparency, that is something that has come up on a regular basis. I mean, this is a community that is literally built to just talk about the show basically 24/7, even though some assholes were talking about fucking Ford Explorers or Ford trucks this morning, or whatever the fuck you people were talking about. But that shit has been a constant thing that came up. Do you think that it was an ambush of Steve, or do you think that was an honest question that needed to be asked? I know obviously you went on the show today because you believed it was an honest question that needed to be asked.
Yeah, and like I said, I wasn't in the MMA. I didn't see it go down. I don't know what the motives behind the people asking the questions were, but the basic premise is when it was laid all out, and then I saw that Steve was responding with, well, we'll just give you a refund. Well, that's not an answer. I mean, it was a valid question. He said on the show today, they talked about it on the show. They didn't, that I know of.
Don't you think that's moderately an entitled opinion? It's like there's no, to Kirk's point today, there's no radio show, there's no podcast, no TV show where a host will go into a community and have a one-on-one direct conversation. He had one with Uncle Dino by DM, and yes, he told him to fuck off, but most people aren't even responding to that shit. For us to go in there and just even question a guy who's so fucking out and open, and I'm not trying to kiss his ass when I say this, we should trust a person like that who is coming into the community and engaging as much as he does. Should we not?
Warthog, did you send your email before or after you found out what happened with the AMA?
After.
So you got all triggered over other people complaining about $20 and $15, not even yours?
No, I mean, I contributed. I thought my quote-unquote triggering was just due to Steve's snarky, dismissive response. And he's supposed to be Mr. DC Sleuth, Mr. Conservative, Mr. Watch Your Money, Mr. Everyone else, I'm watching you, I'm going to investigate you. But God forbid he puts something together that bombs, he lies about, and people have follow-up questions. He's going to be dismissive.
When did they lie? How did they lie about it?
Yeah. Whoa.
Okay,
you didn't lie about anything. You just didn't. You didn't hear the episode.
All right. Well, let me ask. Do you think the show presented the pizza and the vigil as something that came out of their pockets, or something that came out of the listeners' pockets?
I think it came
on the show.
I thought it was coming out of the fund. I thought it was coming on the fund, and that they mentioned it on the show. Do I think that Kirk put a stop to the show and said, everybody stop and listen to me right now? What I'm going to do is take part of the fund, take some of the money in it, and then organize this whole vigil. I don't know if it was as organized as that. I don't think podcasting and natural communication is like that, but I think that message was delivered loud and clear.
Okay, I'm just saying, as a casual fan, as a casual listener, I thought they were presenting the vigil and the pizza.
But you're not. I'm not trying to go deeper on you. I know you can handle it. Obviously, you're not casual. You were a part of an investigation, directly talking to Kirk, so you know he wouldn't fuck anybody.
I'm saying that. Yeah. So I'm not a casual. I'm an interested listener. And I still felt that. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt by calling myself a casual listener.
Yeah.
I'm saying the fly-by-night listener would have taken, and this is my opinion, in my listening experience, I honestly thought that they kept, sort of congratulating themselves for paying for this vigil. I mean, they beat up Linda Marks on this thing as if it was their own money. And that's fine. I'm just saying, in my eyes, it was sort of like they were paying out of their pocket. That's how they presented it. And that wasn't the case. And then I thought, wow, well, these people are asking a valid question. If all Steve would have to say was, "Oh, well, we'll discuss it on the show. We didn't know there was a misunderstanding." Clearly, there's a misunderstanding.
Well, I think he did answer it in the AMA. It was more of the just constant peppering. And speaking of that, give me.
I don't appreciate that.
Yeah, give me 1 second because I think VLS KMS. If we have you, and we might not, buddy, are you there? Yeah, I think his connection. I'm pretty sure VLS KMS was part of the peppering last night of Steve, which I think all of us can agree. By the way, I'm fucking yelling. I'm trying not to be a host of this shit, and I'm sorry. I think we can all agree that just the question being asked, fair, is it kind of douchey? Maybe, but the fact that we just stayed on it as much as we did and we hammered it, I can see why Steve would be pissed in that moment. I think we can agree on that.
It's a bizarre hill to die on. Is my thing. That's what is gonna. I mean, not that there's even other things to pick at, but how many people actually even were upset and complaining? 5 people out of however many.
Well, if you're really mad about something, right? And by the way, to have the balls to go and even complain about a $15 donation you made and know that you can get direct access to the person who has that fund. I would never think that I could go DM a radio host for my $15 fucking back in any form. Logical or not, whether it made sense, whether it's it is absurd that someone would start shit over that, because I would never think that you could gain access like that to somebody.
I guess I'm saying I don't think anyone's dying on the hill, and I don't think anyone has asked for a refund. So the fact that that's the counter argument is ridiculous. And I just reached out to the show, and I'm not going to say I'm going to die on the hill. They died on the hill. They freaked out. They spiked the show. They enacted the way they did. To turn it around and blame the listeners, that's fine. They're entertainers. That's fine. I'm not going to lose any sleep.
DJB, you're still with us. What's your takeaway on Warthog, by the way? Should he get on his knees and fucking beg for forgiveness right now?
Nah, I think, to make it a little more clear, I think all his point is that he just wanted the show to be clear where the money was coming from. He doesn't have a problem with spending the money, on the pizza or whatever it was. If that idea was presented a little clearer, maybe he would have not gotten annihilated on the show today. But it's also hard, coming at Kirk. He's very protective of his show and of his people. So at the end of the day, it's just a really tough point to bring up. But I kind of get where you're coming from. But at the end of the day, what they spent the money on, it works. Like they said on the show today, they haven't heard from
one thing
that. How long?
Yep. Go ahead.
One thing that needs to be addressed is so if you don't want a refund, if no one is actually asking for their money back, okay, fine, good. But also, like they said, there wasn't enough money for a billboard to even be purchased. So if you don't want the money back, they can't afford to buy a billboard with it. Then what do you want to do? Actually slush fund it and just sit on it and have it be money in the check or in the business's checking account? They used it for something. They didn't have enough for a billboard.
And I would say they used it for a very good reason, especially because the entire purpose was to say fuck you to one person. And this was probably a much better way than not that I think the billboard would have been funny. This was a legit middle fucking finger to Bob Murchison like I have never seen before. And everybody there smiles on people's faces. They're well fed. They're drinking beer. Everybody's drunk. Blind Mike's drunk. His mom's drunk. I'm drunk. Why are we fucking complaining a week later? It's absolutely insane. So I think we can end it there. Warthog, I forgive you personally. I don't know if Kirk ever will, but I personally forgive you. At least you show balls in fighting back, coming back on today. So I appreciate you doing it.
All right. Well, I appreciate everyone here. Obviously.
All right. Fuck you. Goodbye. Get out of here.
Hold
on. I want to give one last shot. I'll kick him out of here. I want to give one last shot to VLS.
Can you hear me?
There?
Can you hear me?
Are you there? Is that you? Yes.
Yeah. You can hear me?
Go. You were part of the...
I didn't have any mic permissions. Sorry.
Okay. You were part of the process last night. You were part of the process last night of badgering Steve Robinson. Were you not?
Yeah.
Okay. explain to me the thought process going on in your head as you asked or commented back on 4 separate occasions after getting your answer.
I think the thing for me was a lot of the stuff that Steve was saying. I kind of agree with Warthog, really. That for me, issue isn't the money at all. Never has been the money. It would have just been nice to know where it's being spent. And I thought that Steve was being disingenuous in some of his answers, saying that, oh, we told you, or, oh, you can have your refund. It never was about the refund. It was just about just telling us. And I disagree with some moderators on this, but I think that if Kirk is asking Julia Rose to be transparent with where her donations are, I don't think it's too much to ask.
That's a great point.
I don't think it's too much to ask. And to be honest, I can't come to the vigil. I thought it was great. I thought the whole thing was great. I was following it on my phone. Fantastic. Would have been great to hear before where the Fundly, what happened to Fundly.
But you can. Did you listen to the show today? You can appreciate the concept of there just might have been communication failures.
Yeah, so
on a lot of people's end, by the way.
No, absolutely. It's only ever been for me about the communication. It's only ever been about the communication.
Yep.
I think that Kirk and Steve have got a fantastic fan base. Sign up for the if they left Barstool, I'd sign up for a subscription service immediately. Having never heard Kirk before Barstool, not a min-cell, not a minifan. I would definitely be on. I'm all Team Kirk. Don't even listen to Barstool anymore. I just think that you can't look a gift horse in the mouth.
All right, so let's end it on this note because we've gone way too long. Do you still agree with your actions last night, which I would define as badgering? Yes or no?
Probably with the first 2, but not after that. I probably should have let it go.
Okay. All right, cool.
Probably should have let it go.
And do you apologize to Kirk personally?
No.
You don't apologize. Okay. All right. Wow. Fair. Okay. All right,
No,
guys.
I think the actual underlying issue is the same. I apologize for badgering. I don't apologize for questioning.
Okay, gotcha. All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining us. This is Great Thinkers. This is episode 3. Stick with us. You might see some of these guys again. You guys were all great, so I appreciate your time. And, we'll be back at some point. Later, guys.
Thanks, guys.